My name is Tara Thompson. I'm a family care supervisor with the Partnership for Strong Families. Oftentimes, fathers have been the ones who have been less involved and may need, the services even more than the mothers. And surprisingly, you'll find that a lot of them do want to be involved. There's a stereotype in our field, and it's been passed down for a very long time. Even as far back when I began, we didn't really expect the fathers to be involved because that's kind of what we were taught. And unfortunately, as we go and we keep training more and more workers, they get the same message over and over, and so they don't try. They just don't try, and it's unfortunate because when we do try, we find that a lot of them will participate. They want to participate. They're not invited. Typically, the stereotypes are that the fathers do not want to be involved. Deadbeat dads. Oftentimes, even the moms will say, "Well, he's not really involved." And then later we find that he's involved in some ways, maybe just not all the ways she would like him to be involved. A lot of times, we expect that the fathers are maybe working more than the mothers, and maybe they're busier and don't have the time to engage in the services. So I think that it's an assumption that we keep carrying on that is a barrier. Sometimes the moms don't want him to. Maybe he's not paying child support, so because of that, she doesn't think he should get to participate. But if we can just have that conversation with him, we can find out and possibly make a big difference for them. As humans, we cannot help but let our personal experiences, sort of bleed over into our professional life. Sometimes we just have to sort of open our minds back up and give each father an individual attempt and an opportunity to participate. They each deserve it, and they shouldn't have to bear what we've learned from the past, what we have experienced from other fathers. They shouldn't have to suffer those consequences. They should get an equal opportunity. I think that has helped is we sit down with a father and we are completely honest and open and tell them exactly what their opportunities are and how they can benefit, how they can participate, and what the possible outcomes would be based on what his engagement is. And we've seen great results because of it. Well, you do often hear, "I don't know why I have to go see him. He's not going to participate anyway." And I just try to remind them and encourage them, we've got lots of other cases where dad was in jail, and now dad has the children, and mom didn't step up, dad did. So you never know how it's going to go, and if you don't go into it with an open mind and give each parent every opportunity, every chance to engage, then you haven't done the right thing.
My name is Philip. I'm a family care counselor with the Partnership for Strong Family. A lot of my colleagues have been here way longer than I have. For the most part, a lot of the fathers they've dealt with don't fulfill their part of the bargain. They come up short a lot, so they automatically assume that, well, this father's not going to do anything, or this father has not done anything in the past. So it's kind of like, we used to focus on the mother, but, by really sitting and talking with the father and trying to figure out, what's going on in the father's life, taking the extra time to talk with him to figure out where he is in his life and why he can't, or what we need to do to help him a little bit more than just kind of just reading what we see on the paper, or just getting input from any of the people that's been here longer and dealt with different fathers like that. Try to explain why it's important, regardless of how her feelings are towards the father, why it's important for her child to have that interaction with her father, and explain that yes, you can raise a child by yourself as a single parent. I've seen it done before, but it's gives that child that much more of a boost in society to have both mother and father there supporting the child and giving the child a view from both sides, from the male side and the female side. And I think it's beneficial for the kid to have, you know, the father there and have her mom cooperate, regardless of however she feels, you know, because at the end of the day, it's the child that suffers if she doesn't want to open up. Pretty much try to get that point across to her, to try to have her understand that, you know, yeah, you might not feel, or you don't want to, or you're angry, but, you know, it's not about you, it's about your kid. I know for me, it's been very difficult because the mother and the father will have such big rifts between each other where they can't even be in the same room together, or they can't even communicate at all. So it's been having, I guess, one-on-one times with each parent separately, and just bringing the same information I'm bringing to one parent to the other, and just keeping them, you know, just being neutral and keeping them both informed at the same time, but separately. Some parents can, you know, communicate together well, and, you know, just making sure that, you know, if we are in a room together, that, you know, it's a calm environment where we all can just talk freely and to the best interest of the kid's well-being or their well-being. You know, they're deadbeat, they're not there. What's the point of, you know, contacting them? They don't care. You know, they weren't here at the beginning, you know, so why get them involved now? Absent. They don't understand. They can't parent. They're just producers, you know, so. You don't know the full picture until you actually talk with the father and see where the father is at that point in his life, because what you're reading on the, you know, files and papers on the father will not, sometimes misrepresents where the father is currently. So just really keeping an open mind when you're talking with the father, and not letting other people's bias and views, you know, cloud your judgment or how you feel towards the father, and just really taking what the father says for face value, you know, until he proves you wrong. Is my biggest approach when I, you know, interact with fathers or different parents in general. I just ask them what's going on with them and how they're doing, and try to relate to the kid and to see how it would feel if you were in that child's position where they didn't even give your father a chance, despite what he's done in the past. Growing up, you never had, you know, you had a father, but they weren't really doing anything to help you connect with him, you know, and how you would feel that, you know, you have other kids around that, you know, they have fathers, and you're yearning for that. And my big fight is to just give the fathers a chance, giving them the benefit of the doubt. I know they might not deserve it or they might not need it, but give them the benefit of the doubt until they prove you wrong. I feel like the best thing is to let the person prove you wrong. Because, I mean, there's nothing wrong with you going on a limb for them until they prove you wrong. Once they prove you wrong, then it's a completely different story. But until then, you don't know them and they don't know you. So you have to give them the information up front and say, hey, until you prove me wrong, I'm going to be here and I'm going to fight for you.
Well, no, you tried. You tried for everybody, and it's all about the kids. They're the number one purpose of why we do what we do. And if we want to give them every opportunity, we have to engage both parents.